Tony Chiodini, it is the week of Fallout 4.
It is.
A game that you've played and I haven't, because there are so many video games right now.
Yeah, I've put in not as much time as I've wanted to be honest. I'm about level 8 now, maybe level 10. I only managed to play it on launch evening, and then I've had stuff on since then, and I'm also playing loads of Vermintide, if that wasn't obvious enough that I'm quite into that video game.
I feel like we're pretty well versed on the Fallout series though, up to this point anyway.
Yep.
And with that in mind, I think we're going to try and talk about what makes for a great open world game. I think Bethesda open world games at times are great. Fallout has always had a special place in my heart. But what is that defining factor? What separates a good open world game, an okay open world game, from a great one?
I think, specifically with reference to Bethesda, what makes it great is that you can moderate the intensity of your own experience. You can just wander around and wait for ambient things to happen, and that's all good and fun. You can come across, say in Skyrim, there would be bandits or whatever, and that's all fun and interesting and makes the world feel vibrant. Or you can you've got your main quest line and you can ration that out and do side quest lines and just the really random quests and stuff like that. So you can basically fit your interaction with the world to fit in with the kind of experience you want to have at the time. Where, in contrast, I feel open worlds fall down is when it's got a massive open world, but it's constantly pressuring you to do stuff. Like Assassin's Creed, like Assassin's Creed Syndicate's always like, hey, steal this thing, or invade this bit.
Look at this map full of objectives.
Exactly.
Sort of thing. Yeah, I think that's an interesting point, and definitely when playing Bethesda games, you leave the sewer or the dungeon or the vault for the first time, and you see that, oh, look how big this place is, and then it's like, the main mission is this way, by the way, and then you try and just go whichever direction you can other than that, because I think that's often how I like to play them. For me, what really separates a great open world game, I think, is that fundamentally it has to be a playground. I don't actually think open world games are necessarily the best place to tell great stories, although there are examples of good storytelling in them. I actually don't think that's its strength. For me, the open world games that always stand out are the ones just full of interesting stuff to do. Metal Gear Solid this year has been full of that for me. I really don't care about the storyline in that game. I'm not a huge Metal Gear buff. I don't think this is one of the strongest for its story, but it's full of interesting bases that feel fun to take down. And actually, as well as exploration, experimentation is another important thing. That game is full of moments where you can, oh man, I wonder if I try this. Will that work? And then it does, and then that's what I'm after in those games. And I think that is an important thing to hit on as well, because the games just about exploration also don't quite do it for me. So you're saying that you don't like it when too many objectives are thrown at you, and I totally get that. Ubisoft kind of turned me off with their maps full of stuff to do. But I struggle to play games just for exploration. I need some incentive.
Right. So, like Minecraft, for instance, that is the ultimate playground game where it just says, "Here's this world.
Yeah.
Monsters will come at night time. Go," and that's it. So does that kind of turn you off as an experience, or? No,
I think Minecraft's brilliant. I think you kind of make your own objectives in that, but there's a game underneath the exploration there. Although let's not get into that. Is a horrible conversation to have. It's a game, but I feel like Minecraft, I enjoy exploring, but I enjoy exploring, finding somewhere cool, and being like, right now it's time to build a tower here. Wouldn't that be cool? That separates it. I like games. I like looking at games like Proteus, for example. I don't enjoy playing them. I need some reason to keep going on, to keep exploring. Otherwise, it feels a bit shallow for me.
Yeah, Proteus turned me off very, very quickly. Actually, that was too
far the other way.
Yeah, exactly. It's interesting though. You were talking about how with Bethesda games and games, open world games in general, they give you this kind of playground, and you emerge from the vault, and away you go. In Fallout 4, it's definitely more linear for the first bit, I think, because they start you off obviously in the pre-war thing, and you're just down the road from the vault, and then the war happens, you wake up in the vault, and then you've got to go straight back. And absolutely everything is pointing you towards going there. Okay. It's not like, say, in Skyrim, where you're first tasked with going to Whiterun, and then you're free to go. It wasn't until I played for a few hours that I felt like I could just start bimbling around the map.
Okay, that's fair enough.
And going and checking stuff out.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with, as long as there is a clear point where now it's time to wander around and find things. For me, my actual favourite Bethesda game is Morrowind, which I don't know how well it's aged. It's at times it's not the prettiest game when you look at it now, but in terms of a playground to explore and just find cool, weird stuff to do, it's better than Bethesda have ever been for me. I feel like they were a bit bolder with the experimentation side of it that we were talking about before. That game is, you should see how you make spells in that game and how much you can break it. And the game's cool with you doing that. Like, go around, try and become like this all-powerful god and just like cause havoc. That's fine. You can fly in that game.
Okay,
Which
I didn't
is
know that.
interesting. There are boots that you can wear that make you blind but make you like ridiculously fast, so you can travel the entire map but you can't see where you're going. It's full of like, that's the kind of stuff that appeals to me about an open world. That feels like a playground.
So is Morrowind your favourite open world game, or is it just your favourite Bethesda game?
Oh, it's definitely up there. At the time, it was really important. I think probably is my favourite.
I would say mine, without a doubt, is Red Dead Redemption, actually, because again, it's not. It's just one of those worlds where the emergent stuff is really interesting. Like, you've got your crashed carriage, and you've got, you know, the quintessential damsel in distress there, and then the bandits pop out and they try and shoot you, and it's the same every time. Yeah. So you'd see the carriage and be like, yeah, I can kill these guys, don't worry about it. Or, you know, you've got the meeting your strangers, and I know people have pointed out in the past that it doesn't really work narratively, where John Marston's like, I'm on a quest for revenge, and I'm going to bring down the guys with whom I was in a gang. Of course I'll pick these flowers for your wife, you know, like it doesn't make sense. But I think with an open world, you need that kind of suspension of disbelief.
So I think that's why I don't think open worlds are great for telling stories, because you often leave the main storyline until later on. Yeah. Narratively, it doesn't always make sense. But yeah, as a playground, that's also a really good one. I used to love the multiplayer part of that game. I used to ride around with my friend in a horse and carriage and just like get up to hijinks. Yeah. And that's what the genre is.
That was amazing, actually.
Hijinks.
That is it.
Yeah. And yeah, I need to find some time for Fallout 4. I hope there's some of that in there.
It's quite a big game, Chris.
It's pretty big. You seen Overwatch?
Hello, this is Travis Miles, and you should listen watch Fallout Friday. You can listen to it too, but just watch it, please.